Solo board gaming night here, and today I want to bring to your attention a surprising game that I have personally never heard of until just recently, a few days ago as a matter of fact. And the game I'm talking about is Burgle Brothers. The reason I really want to bring this to your attention is because, as you could see on the table here, I just finished playing my very first game. And I could tell just by my first gameplay of this game that this is an amazing and a highly enjoyable solo player game. Now, it's a cooperative game and it could play up to 4 players. But since it's a cooperative game, you can play by yourself if you'd like. And the good thing about this game, you can actually just solo it with one character. The instruction manual shows you how to do it, and you just set it up that way. Nothing changes, everything stays the same. You just solo it. I went ahead and I personally played it two-handed, and I just had an absolute blast, and I needed to bring this to your attention. So think of this as a public service announcement of sorts. If you're a solo board gamer like I am, do yourself a favor, go out and find this game, buy it, and play it. I'm going to go ahead and let you know why, or what about the game intrigued me and why I enjoyed it as much as I did. And to be able to explain that, I actually have to explain this box. And yes, this is the box. It's not a big box game, okay? It doesn't take that much space on your shelf. So if you're like me, running low on space, this is a really neat game to be able to add to your library without having to suffer through the consequences of having a giant box that you have to fit inside your shelf. But what I like about this box, it doubles as the actual building that you're making your way through as burglars. So as you see here, there's 3 different floors, and each floor is being patrolled by a different different like security guard. And basically in this game, what you do, you have to make your way through each door, each floor, crack the safe that exists in each one of these floors, and make your way up to the rooftop to escape with the heist that you're trying to pull off. So basically, this is a heist game in board game form. And it's a tile-based system, and you set up each floor. Like I had mentioned, the floors on that building, there's a 4x4 grid, and each of those 4x4 grids represents one floor of the building you have to go to. This is the 2nd floor, this is the 3rd floor, and then I just have the building there because if I make it to the 3rd floor, I escape. Now basically what you have to do, you start the game by choosing a tile in which you're going to come out of. But before that, you find out where the security guard's going to be. So you more or less can think, okay, this might be a good place to start. This might be a dangerous place to start, whatnot. Once that happens and you come out, you're going to then draw a card on the floor that pertains to the floor you're on. So see, as you see here on the lower left hand side, that's the actions that the guard is going to do. And I do that for each individual floor. I have a tile of actions for each floor. I never made it to the 3rd floor. Actually, I got destroyed on the 2nd floor, but I still had fun. So basically those tiles, those cards let you know how the guard is going to move on this floor. I'll give you a good example. If we move to the 2nd floor over here, you'll see that the security guard is right here, and the tile told me that his next movement's going to be on C1. So it's, think A, B, C, D. This is C, and this is the first column of this column. This is the first tile of that column, and since it's C1, I placed the die right here. In this case, it lets you know that the security guard is going to move that many spaces to get to that area. And your goal as the burglars pulling off this heist is flipping over these tiles by doing actions to either flip them over, and that's a safe way of being able to go through it. So like, for example, if my character's here, I could just run in here. But if there's a tile that pulls off an alarm, which this doesn't, for example, but if this would have been an alarm and I would have just ran into it without peeking it at first, I would have set off the alarm. And instead of the security guard heading there, the security guard's new point of interest would actually have been that place. Like, let's say, pretend this is an alarm. This is actually what an alarm looks like. You would have set an alarm here, and instead of the security guard going to where his initial point of interest was, it'll change. He knows he's been alerted, and he'll be moving towards this one first. And as soon as he gets there, he'll remove the alarm that is there. And then what you would have to do, you would have to draw another card to find out where his next destination would be. And then you kind of just keep moving around the floors, up and down. That was running and trying to avoid the security guard. But there's also a way that you could do it that's not as dangerous. And one way is peeking, and basically any adjacent tile, and it's up, down, left, right, orthogonally, not diagonally. You would be able to peek. And if you peek, no matter what's there, you're not going into the room. You're actually just peeking. Think about peeking around the corner to see what's there. So any negative event that would occur there would not happen because you peeked and not ran in. And that's basically the gist of the game. You got to keep doing that throughout the entire floor, either running into the room, peeking to see what's going on, avoiding the security guard at every step. And basically, each floor is going to have, and I'm going to move back to the first floor here because this is the floor that I was able to pass. Each room will have a safe. And that safe, you have to crack the code to that safe to open it, and then receive an item card and a loot card. And then you would have to find the stairs that would have you go back to up to the second floor. In this case, if the stairs are here, you would then, once you're standing here, you could either choose to peek or move the same way I had mentioned before to the very same spot in the tile on the second floor, which would be right here. And that's how you would be able to either move up or down floors. So yeah, once you crack this safe, you take the loot, you take the items, and then you have to make your way upstairs and do that the same thing on the second floor, and then do the same thing on the third floor until you hopefully escape and make your way through the helipad on top of the building. But one cool thing is the way you actually crack the safe. Underneath it, on the bottom right corner of every tile, there's a number, okay? So when you're on a safe location, if I bring this close, you'll see that it says for one action to roll a combination, 2 actions to add a die. Well, when you have 4 actions that you have to do. You get to do 4 actions every turn. Move, peek, you could add hack, you could add a die. Lots of different things. The game lets you know. As a matter of fact, it has a really neat player card, which pretty much gives you all your actions. Move, peek, hack, add a die, which I just mentioned, and roll the dice on the safe. So I really like that, the player reference card. But basically what happens is, if I were here and I wouldn't have cracked the safe, I would have to spend 2 of my 4 actions to add a die to that safe. Now, I could roll that die and try to see if I could match the bottom numbers, the lower right numbers of any of the tiles, either in the column directly on or the row directly by the safe. So basically, to be able to unlock this safe, you have to reveal all the tiles that are on the same row and the same column as that safe. And every tile is going to have a number on the bottom right corner of that tile. So what happens, you'll roll a die. If you added a die to the safe, you roll a die, and if this was a 4, for example, and you rolled a 4, you'd be able to place this cracked code token on the 4. And if there's more than one 4, all you need to do is roll 1 4 to be able to place those cracked tokens on the number. And basically that's it. Once you do it, you grab your loot, you grab your item, you make your way to the stairs, go on to the next floor, try it again. I didn't make it because the security guard ended up catching me. And the way that you lose is each character starts with, I'll move this one closer so you can see it. Each character starts, you see, he cracked the safe, so he ended up getting an item, and he ended up getting a reward for it. So what ended up happening is you start with 3 stealth tokens, and he only has 1 left, but as you could see, she has 0. And basically, every time the security guard passes you, you lose 1. So let's say I had 3 stealth tokens, okay, and the security guard had to move 3 spaces here, and he passes me up by going 1, 2, 3. Because he passed me up, I have to discard a stealth token that I own, one of the 3 that I have. Think of it like, oh, he's there, you're gonna hide or jump behind some obstacle or some barrier or some sort of wall or chair or desk so that he doesn't see you. But it takes like a stealth action. And once you lose all 3 of those stealth tokens, and he passes by you again, and you do not have a stealth token to discard, you automatically lose the game. Pretty much you you rat out all your friends, you say, yeah, this person was with me, and that's how the game ends. Another thing that you could do is, like, sometimes you might want to actually go onto a space where a security guard is, and in that case, you would also lose a stealth token and just move away. But yeah, you either purposely go into a space or the security guard goes onto your space, and if that happens on the 4th time for the same character, you lose. Or sometimes maybe an event card, if you only move 2 out of your 4 actions, you have to draw this event card, and that event card, what it does, it either gives you a positive or a negative depending. Sometimes it helps you out and sometimes it doesn't. In my case, it didn't help me out, and it kind of made me lose, actually, at the end. But I still had a great time. I wanted to bring this game to your attention. It has a lot going for it, so much so that I'm going to look into the second one and see whether or not it's something for me. I really, really do love this game. I wanted to bring it to your attention. Once again, this was Solo Board Gaming Night. Hopefully, I interested you in trying to check out Burgle Brothers. I really do hope you check it out. Thank you for stopping by, watching this review. You guys take care and have a great game night.